All right, welcome back on to Jface Games. Today we're getting right into it. We are doing an encounter in the Vagabond system. It's on Kickstarter right now for a couple more days. We just did a video on the Vagabond rules, and so now we're going to see how it feels in an encounter. All right, so I've got an encounter set up here. Just as a caveat, just to let you know, the Vagabond rule set, the creator of it is really churning out new ideas and new rules and updates constantly. I think that that's part of the promise of the Kickstarter, is that it is a system that is still being fully developed, and they're getting a lot of feedback from the playtesters. And so just as a heads up to show you, this was one of the original, if you download from the Kickstarter, the character sheets. And this is the newest one that the designer just sent to me today on Twitter. And now it's available for those that are who are backing the program, but it changes everything. They've already gotten rid of one of the attributes, so he's changing things on the fly. The core rules are still there, but he's changing things to make it more streamlined. So that's nice. That's always nice to see when you see someone that active. All right, so let's get into it. What do we got here? We got a fighter, we have a cleric, we have the classic 4, we have a rogue, and we have a wizard. And they've got a bunch of goblins. There's a bunch of goblins everywhere, right? I use the encounter builder, and we've got like 7 little goblins. We've got 3 little goblin casters, and we got a big boss here. This is the big boss goblin, okay? I might look up occasionally because that's where I can see how this layout looks for y'all. Down here, you can see that the fighter is Jface. He is a human. Let's go to his character sheet. Jface is a human fighter warlord. Previous soldier, looking to be a supreme ruler. That's kind of lofty. We have Caleb, who is a life cleric, and he's a dwarf. Reason being is because my buddy who always plays a cleric named Caleb hates dwarves. So shout out to you. He was a blacksmith. Now he's a chosen one. We have Galleon, the rogue thief, halfling gambler, gonna be a business mogul. Really fun building that character, actually. And then we have Canis, our wizard evoker, who is an apprentice, going to be the Endbringer. He is a stellar elf, and he is our caster, right? So that's the group that we're bringing into this. My assumption is they walk into this room. Jface is probably like, Galleon, I thought you said there were no threats. And Galleon's like, man, I didn't really consider this a threat. The Canis, the caster, probably has like a tethered rope to Jface, because he's got the worst awareness ever. He's got awareness of 8, and so he's probably got his face in his book. He probably doesn't even know they're in a cave. He looks up and goes, oh, what's this? And so now we're going to get rolling, okay? So the first thing we have to do is we have to roll initiative. So I'm going to get my dice out. This is where I'm going to edit the video. All right, the first thing we have to do is we have to determine initiative. Initiative is just a coin toss. We're not going to say this is surprise of any sort. So we're going to say high is us, low is them. Oh, it's a 20. Maybe we did get a surprise. Man, am I wasting my 20s already? All right, so we're going to say that it is the parties go first. What do they get to do? They get to each do a main action, a quick action, and they get to take a movement. The movement is it's a group turn, so they all get to kind of do things together. Jface, who's a tactician, a warlord, he's going to say, come with me, Caleb. And he and Caleb are going to go this way. He's going to tell Galleon, Galleon, do your thing. So Galleon is going to start moving this way. 5, 10, let's see what Galleon's movement is. It's 40 because he's a freaking halfling that just runs around like a crazy person. So 40, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20. We're going to say this is difficult terrain, 25, 30, and he's here. Boom. So he's going to get there. We'll come back to his action in a second. So we are going to have these guys go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We'll say that's difficult terrain to get to that spot. So that's 30. Perfect. That's his movement. Jface's a little slower. So Jface, he's got 25 movements. He's going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Not the best. We'll say we get some here. So just a heads up, when you're looking at this grid, I apologize, the boxes they have are different than the one that Owlbear has. I couldn't line them up perfectly, so we're going to deal with it. And then he's going to stay here. He's going to get his launch from this position. He's probably going to cast. He might actually back up a space, just in case. All right, so let's do their actions. Jface didn't get all the way, so he's going to take his hand axe, and he's going to chuck it at this guy. So what do we have to do? Well, we have our goblins, and our goblin stat blocks are, it's a 14 to actually hit them. Jface, with his hand axe, has a +4, so he's rolling a d20 +4. In other words, I got to get a 10 or higher. He misses, so he chucks out his hand axe, and it flies past. But he gets a quick action. So his quick, or sorry, he gets a, yeah, quick action. What he's going to do for his quick action is he is going to do a, he's actually going to use one of his special abilities. He's going to take a quick action, a order, which is a speak quick action in the game. And he, being a warlord, is going to give, as a tactician ability, he's going to give his buddy, Caleb, a favor on his attack. So now Caleb's going to go, he's going to attack this guy. This guy, once again, 14 AC. Caleb has a +4 to hit, so he's got to get 10. But he's got advantage. He's favored, so he rolls 2 dice, and he rolls a 16. He hits. Caleb, by the way, is a cleric who I have wielding a massive colossal hammer because I think it's awesome. So he's running up there. He hits him for 8 + 1, so 9 damage. This poor little Gobby has 4 hit points. We are down a Gobby. Gobby down. All right, that's their turn. His quick action, Caleb's quick action is going to be to, I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to withdraw. No, there's no point in withdrawing. He's not going to counter. He'll counter. So he's going to use counter. That means if someone tries to move past him, he's going to get an attack on him. I don't think that Caleb has any other quick actions that would be cool to use at the moment. No, so he's going to do that, and that's going to be perfect. He also got a +1 because he's got a pretty badass weapon. All right, that's over there. Our rogue, Galleon, he's by himself over here. What does Galleon get to do by himself? Well, when he's by himself, if he's favored, he gets, in other words, like a sneak attack damage. But he's not. He's just a badass, though. He's got a curved longsword, +6 to hit, D6 +2 damage. So let's see if he can hit this guy. He's going to roll and get a 16. He hits, D6 +2. 6 damage. That's another Gobby down. These things have 4 hit points. So far, the party looking good. Gobby 1 down, Gobby 2 down. I'm marking it on my calendar. My stat sheet. All right. The wizard. Let's see. He's got some range here. He has a spell. He has lots of spells. He has adept burn. He's adept at burning. That's always good to have, right? You always want to be adept at burning things. And let's see what he can do. We go over to our spell list, how he can modify things. I'm going to cut back to this in just a second. All right, so what Canis is going to do is he is going to launch a burn. So he's going to treat it like a fireball. And what he's going to do is he's going to add 1 mana to it to make it do 2d6 damage. And he's also going to add 1 mana to it to make it or I guess 2 mana to it to make a 10-foot cube. So he's going to launch it and hit both of these guys. And I don't see what the range is. I don't know if there is a range technically. So that means he's going to burn 3 mana to cast this spell. It's an indirect spell because it's sort of in this area as opposed to a direct target. So it's going to cost him 3 mana. So we're going to take, oh, I can do this over here. It's going to cost him 3 mana. So that takes him down to 19 mana. And then what he's going to do is he's going to now try to do it indirectly. Indirectly means that we are doing a skill check. That means we would take 20 minus his logic minus his aptitude for this spell. So he is adept in this, which means that's a 4th level for aptitude, and his logic's 4, so it's 8. So he needs to get a 12 or higher. He rolls and gets a 12. So he launches a fireball towards these guys. He's doing 2d6. He ends up doing 8 damage to both of them. They are nerfing these guys down. As a quick action, I'm going to say that he is going to... he's not going to focus, he's not going to counter, he's not going to do any of those things. I don't know if he has something he's going to do. So I think that he's going to chill. I never got a talent for him. Oops. So maybe I'll do that in a minute. But at the moment, that's it. He would have also, by the way, he has exploding dice. So that would have been an extra 1 damage. But irrelevant. They're dead. So he's going to stay back there. Goblin turns. So now the goblins go, and they all get to do something. This guy is going to come over to this ledge, and he's going to be firing down here. These guys are going to come down 5, 10, 15 to here and here. So they're going to flank. And then this guy is going to come over here, and he's going to throw something. So he's not going to get in range, or in melee range. He's going to kind of get here and throw. This guy's going to come over here and shoot towards this guy probably. Ooh, the big bad. I think the big bad sees an opportunity, and he's going to come over here. He is also going to do something else. which is he has a special little ability where he can make a quick action to speak an order, and each member in the group can make one attack as a quick action. All right, so he's going to say, we got to deal with this right now. So he's going to try and get everyone to mow this down. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and his movement is 30, 5, 6. So he's going to get in close. All right, he's going to go here, so he's not line of cover. All right, and this caster is going to move up a little bit, and he's going to shoot as well. So now we've got some problems here. Everyone is going to be able to use a quick action to make a attack, make one attack. These guys' attack are spells. These guys' attacks are melee. So let's get to business. Let's start over here. These guys are both going to attack. They are attacking with +2, or what ends up being Caleb has a -2 to his defense. It is a dodge. Caleb's not good at dodging, so Caleb is sitting at a -2 to his dodge. And what he has to dodge is, for a Goblin Bandit, is a 13. These guys are attacking with their short bows. So he has to get a 15 to dodge it. But because Josen's next to him, Josen is next to him and is a protector. So favor to an adjacent ally who's trying to do dodges. So he's got a 15 or higher twice, but he gets 2 d20s to do it. The first one, 19 to 15. Good on you, Caleb. Second one, 12 and a 4. He misses on, or he does not succeed on that one. So he is going to take 1d4 slashing damage from the Gabi. Gabi hits him for 1d4 plus 2 slashing damage. He takes 6. Caleb! So Caleb's already at half. Not good. Okay, but he's a healer. He'll heal. This goblin, might as well do this guy too. This goblin's going to try and shoot Caleb because I hate you. I believe Caleb, because he's still adjacent to me, I don't believe Protector said adjacent to melee, that he's the same scenario. He's got a 15 or higher on 2 dice. He fails again. This time, though, he's getting hit by piercing. And, oh no, I'm sorry, DT 11 for this. So he succeeds, barely. So he needed to get a 13 to actually succeed. He succeeded. So this guy misses on his shot. This guy over here is going to shoot at Josen. That's not good because Josen is tanky, and I'm assuming that this is not a dodge. Oh, it is a dodge. Okay, so this is a firebolt, dodge 12. And so Josen is trying to dodge a 12, and he gets a +2 to dodge, so he's got to get a 10 or higher. 10 or higher on the first one. Success. That's it. He's only got one attacking him. So he rolls a 12, and he succeeds. Whew. Now, what do we have over here? We've got a lot going on. Let's go ahead and deal with the Bandit Leader first. The Bandit Leader he's already used his quick action. The other guys' quick actions, they don't have any quick actions on their monster stat blocks, so I'm assuming that they just use the basic quick actions. So I think that these guys are both going to use counters. This guy's going to use counter. This guy's going to use counter. Yeah. I think that's what... No. Let's have them use withdraws. So they're going to both use withdraws, and they're going to get some distance again. They're going to back away, because they still had movement. This guy was already 1 away, so he came in for 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets some distance. This guy, they're going to just spread. So they're using withdraws and spreading so that they can keep distance. So this guy, his counter that he triggered, or no, he never used quick. He used quick action to help his buddy. All right, what's going on over here? The Bandit Leader. He has a main attack of a short sword, DT 14. So the DT 14 is going to be against Galleon. Galleon has a +4 dodge, so he has to get a 10 or higher, which is really nice. He gets a 19. Come on. You got nothing on me. So now these two guys are going to be shooting at him. Pew, 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 pew. Firebolt DT 12, so he has to get an 8 or higher against these two things. Ooh, fail and success. The one that failed gets some D6 fire damage. He takes 2. So now Galleon takes 2 damage. All right, we've got some hairiness going on. So now we've got this situation. What are our heroes going to do? Well, he wants to kind of stay close to him because of the fact that he is going to give him protection and he's hurting, right? Maybe Caleb has to heal himself, but Caleb can really wallop people. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have Josen, who some of his abilities, none of his abilities give him an extra attack yet. If he was favored, he would get 2 attacks, but doesn't have favor. And none of the other people can grant him favor. Maybe Caleb can. Caleb has miracles. He has life, ward, and hex. Let's look at those real quick. All right, what we're going to do is he doesn't have anything that can actually boon him and make it so that he has favor. So what he's going to do instead is we're going to have Caleb heal himself. So what he's going to do is he's going to use Life Spell. Life Spell, he's proficient, which means it's rank 2. So the person he heals would get to be able to use 2 hit dice to heal themselves. Caleb is going to cast this spell as normal, but he's going to quicken it. So this is where it's interesting. I don't think the spell base-wise is using any mana, but he's quickening it, which technically should double it. So I'm going to assume that that means 2 mana, but I'm not sure. So he's going to use that to be able to cast this as a quick action. And since it's a direct target, I believe it's him casting it on himself, which would be a D20 plus his... I guess it's a skill check at this point in time. This is the only one that if you're casting on someone else, you're not making the attack, the accuracy test. You're making a skill test. So we're going to say he's making a skill test, which would be a D20 minus his proficiency, which in this scenario is 2, minus his awareness, which is awareness also for Caleb is 2, so it'll be a 4, so it'll be a 16. I'm not sure if that's true. I think that he would actually just be able to cast it on himself and spend the mana, but we'll roll it anyways, and he successfully did. So that I can get a ruling from the rules design, but 16, now he gets to roll we'll say that he rolls 1 hit dice because he did not add another die to it. No, he could do both if he wanted to. So he's going to roll 2 hit dice, 9 hit points back. He's back up to 12. Perfect. So he's feeling good. All right, now he's going to also move, and let's go ahead and deal with this caster up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to move here. Jozen is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get here, and then he's going to quick. His quick ability is going to be to tell his buddy to kick butt. Right? I think I'm going to go ahead and give him favor again in this scenario because I think that's just so good. Now the problem here is that he moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get there, so he doesn't have any more movement. But Caleb does, and that's important. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's go ahead and do the resolution of this, since we can do that in whatever order we want. And we're going to have Caleb attack with advantage, and he gets a 18. I'm pretty sure that hits, no matter what we look at. And he's going to be doing 2d6 plus 1 damage, or plus 2 damage, because he's back up to full. And so he kills that guy. 1 gobby wizard down. So these guys go down pretty quick, which is nice. Then he's going to just move over here, right? He wants to finish his turn next to the tank. He might as well move here. Now, he is going to attack the goblin here, and what he's going to do is he's going to roll just 1 die. He gets a 1, so he critically fails. I don't know what a critical fail does in this system. I'm not going to lie, I didn't see that part. So we would just move on in the combat. Let's go ahead and see what our fearless leader over here is doing. Or not a fearless leader, but Galleon. Galleon is by himself, so he doesn't get any benefits for being by himself. If he had a friend adjacent to him, he would have his sneak attack damage, but he doesn't. So what is he going to do? He could withdraw as his quick action, but what he'll do is he'll attack and then withdraw, and he's going to attack, withdraw, and then move. All right, but he's got some serious movement. So what he's going to do, and we probably should have had him do this before Jozen attacked, and I'll show you why. So he is going to attack first. He gets an 8. The ability to hit this goblin. The goblin has a shield. His AC is 16. I don't think that's going to be a hit. Galleon has a +6, so he would have needed a 10, and he got an 8, so that is a miss. But you know what? Galleon's a lucky bitch. So what we're going to do is he's going to burn 1 luck point, roll again, and he gets a hit this time. So now he gets his hit. He is going to be doing 1d6 damage plus 6 plus 2, so he does 8 damage. This bugbear leader does not like that at all. And then he's going to withdraw as his quick action. So when he withdraws, he gets an extra +5 movement because of one of his abilities. I believe it's his thief ability. And so with +5 extra movement, that means he gets 45, which means he can go 9 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he could have come over here. I'm just showing. He could have come over here, and they could have gotten a flank. So he could have done his whole turn, run over here, get a flank. He gets an attack with pluses. That would have been nice tactics, right? But we can't do that now. We're not going to retcon that. So what he's going to do is with 9, I'm going to say he can easily climb up here. We could do an athletics check if we wanted to, and his athletics check is probably abysmal. It's a 21. That's not good at all. Maybe he could do acrobatics. His acrobatics is there's not acrobatics in this one. So maybe he could have done some sort of finesse. That's kind of dex based. We could look at, let's look at the skills real quick and see where this would fall under. So technically, if we look at the rules as written, strength is going to be athletics, which is exerting physical force. Dexterity is finesse or sleight or stealthy, so it's coordination and panache. Cunning, deception through touch, such as pickpocketing, etc. Concealing one's location. I would allow a player to look at finesse as a way of scurrying up that hillside, which he would only need a 12 or higher, which he would succeed with a 15. So I'm going to say that regardless, he would have been able to get up here. It would have been difficult terrain. It would have been, you know, maybe 3 movements to get up there, whatever the case. But he's here now, so he's going to be there. He's really getting up in this guy's business. The caster, our good old Canis, is going to, let's keep using burn, right? He's got frost and shock. Maybe he wants to use frost on this guy to try and slow him down. So this leader guy, they don't really know what he can do per se. So maybe they want to slow him down to make sure that he's not going to be getting range anyone. So frost, the caster can freeze up to 1 square foot of freestanding water or create dangerous sharp icicles. So it doesn't look like it's actually going to cause any sort of like slow effect. So he can't use that to do any sort of slow, but maybe he can use something else to cause a slow effect. Doesn't look like it. His other ability was shock, and so he could try and shock the dude. Shocking would cause the target is dazed. Ooh, what does dazed do? Dazed while the caster is focused. So the caster could continue to focus, and he would be dazed. If the cast ST score is a critical, then you'd be paralyzed while dazed. So let's check out what dazed is. If you're dazed, you cannot take your quick actions, and it can't move unless it uses its main action to do so. Perfect. This guy, if he uses his quick action again, is going to cause all the monsters to get double attacks. So we do not want that. So that's perfect. So what does he have to do? This is a direct attack. So he's actually attacking against the monster's AT. What he is going to do is he's going to do a logistics plus his aptitude with essence, and he's making an attack against the target. So for him, once again, if we look at that, Canis has a logistic of 4, aptitude for shock is proficient, which is only 2, so that means he gets +6, and this guy has a 16 armor class, so he's got to get 10 or higher. That is a 9. Oh, he's going to use his luck point and get a reroll. So he uses his luck point, and this time he hits 16. So he is now dazed this target. This guy is now dazed. He does not like it. We'll say dazed is he shocked him, so that's like this lightning blue. And he still gets to do damage. So he's only doing a d6 damage because we did not up it. We did not do any mana or anything to it, so it does 2 damage. The goblin leader does not look happy. He's not going to move. He's pretty happy right here. He's got his book in his hand. He's kind of reading. He's having a nice time. So now what are we doing? Now it's the goblins go. So the goblins, this guy is probably going to use his quick action to withdraw, and he's going to move over here, try and get some distance. This guy, I'm going to say he's got some cover from this angle, so he's got to move back to try to get like an angle to be able to shoot up here. So now he's moving up here. He can't move. He's going to use his main action to move. That's the only thing he can do. He can't take a quick action. And now once he takes his main action to move, he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. He's coming down here to get up in his face. Over here, this guy's going to use, he's going to attack. So he's going to go ahead and attack Josen. Because he no likey Josen. Josen means he needs to defend himself. This attack is a defense against a 13. And it's a dodge. So Josen, he has a +2 to dodge. Let's see if he can do it. It's a 10. He needed a 13. It's unsuccessful, but he's wearing armor. In this iteration, armor was a d6 reduction, as opposed to, I believe, the current iteration now that's come out is that it's a static number. So the goblin is going to do 2 damage, but his armor absorbs 2. He takes no damage. Perfect. That worked out nicely for Josen. So Josen, in essence, has his shield, and he ting, takes it on the chest with his chainmail, probably of some sort. This guy's going to come over. He's going to get flanking. So, oh, he should have done this first. Right? Once again, this is probably one of those scenarios where he comes down and they both flank. So that was a mistake on my behalf as a tactician. He is going to come over here and you know what? He's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to say he's going to come here and try and shoot down at this caster. He saw these sparks flying this way, and he's just going to leave that alone. All right, so I think these are our moves. He's attacked and missed. He's going to attack Caleb. He gets a Caleb has a -2 to his ability to defend against this. So this is a dodge. He's at -2 dodge. Once again, Caleb is getting surrounded. So he's at -2 dodge against a 13, so he's got to get a 15 or higher. He gets a 12. Oh, but he's got advantage because he is favored because he's next to Josen. So he gets a second dice. Oh, and it's another fail. So he fails. He gets hit. Should he take a luck? No, he's not going to take the luck. He's going to take a d4 plus 1 slashing damage. Because he is lucky, he takes 1 damage. Does Caleb have armor? Caleb has medium armor. So he's got d6 reduction. He should have done that the first time. No damage. He's good. So he takes a hit from behind. He's like, what's behind me? Let's go over here. This guy's going to do his casting here. Luckily, he doesn't have, unfortunately, this guy doesn't have a spell that he can use that is going to do something else, right? So, meaning like it's attacking his dodge. But what he can do instead is he can use a Goblin Flame. No, he'll just keep doing the Firebolt. That seems to be the most successful thing he can do right now. So he's got an attack +2. He's DT12 again. And DT12 for Galleon. Galleon's got +4. So Galleon's looking pretty right here. He's got to get an 8 or higher against both of these. We'll go ahead and roll for both of these. The first attack is a 19 success. Second attack is a 10 success. So Galleon is dipping and dodging. This guy's moved there. This guy's going to fire down with his short bolt. DT10. He's not a very good shooter. And when it comes to... We can close this one out. We don't need that one. When it comes to Canis, Canis has a +3 to dodge. Canis is actually nimbly bimbly. So he's looking pretty good. So he's got to get a 7 or higher. He gets a 4. He gets shot. This is bad because Caleb ain't got the... Canis doesn't have the hit points very well. So he's going to take a d4 plus 1. 2 damage. That's not bad, but he's at 6. That's not good. And now it's the player's turn again. What are the players going to do? Well, let's see what we can do here. I would say that we've got a problem with our buddy here, right? So who can get to him? Who's going to help him out? Well, I think that we need to get rid of these casters because them shooting, now they might start to focus fire on someone. You know, they might start to focus fire maybe on somebody who has the worst dodging, which is maybe they bring down the healer. They're going to probably burn down the healer. Now they're going to get tactical, right? So this guy, this guy, and this guy, they're going to try and stay on Caleb. Caleb, I think, is going to, as a primary action, maybe he will defend. You take DT with favor. It doesn't really help. As long as he's got Josen next to him, he's fine, right? And Josen's ability, I believe, is for any sort of attack. So protector favor to adjacent ally, DT dodge. And then you can move after the attack. That's interesting. I better look that up. So protector, if you have shield equipped, you can use a quick action to grant an ally within 5 feet of you favor on their first dodge. Oh, okay, so I did that wrong. It would have to have taken a quick action. And if I did that quick action, then I can offer them protection. So I was using that a little bit too much, like 5E protector. So that was a little broken. Okay, good to know, because Caleb was dodging, dipping, and everything. All right, so let's go ahead, and what we'll say is that Galleon is going to move over here, and he's going to take this guy out. You know what? No, this is Galleon. He's got panache. 5, 10, 15, 20... 25, 30, 35. He's going to go sliding down this. And since it's going downhill, it's not difficult terrain. Sliding down this all the way here to get a backstab on this man. So he can try and take him out. So let's go ahead and just do that first. Because this now comes into the effect of morale. So this is their leader. If he can kill him, we got morale. So let's go ahead, and he's going to burn a luck point now, just to make sure that he gets advantage on this attack. He's got luck points for days. So he's going to get advantage on this attack. He's flanking. He gets a +2. He is Galleon, so he already has +6. So now he's at +8. This guy's armor class is, I believe it was 15. We'll double check. 16. So he's got to get an 8 or higher. Now it's time for a 20 and a 19, by the way. So now he gets 20. Okay, so a critical, I can have the choice. I can do double damage. And that's it. No, that's the one thing. Double damage. The damage dealt, which can't be reduced by the protection. No immunities. All right, so double damage. And on top of that, Galleon has his +2d4 because he is favored or because he's adjacent to this guy with someone else, right? So he's got 2d4 plus his d6, but it's going to be 4d4 and 2d6. 2d6 is 7. His d4s are 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 and 7, 18. I'm assuming it does double damage to his here, so 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 damage. You dead. So he just comes and slams his sword into the back of this guy's head. It is a bloody mess. So now what do? We do a morale roll, which is interesting because this is our first time that we get to do a morale roll. So we will be taking a morale roll at the start of the enemy's turn. That's if they have people left. So let's go ahead and we're going to have these guys go. They did not take a counter action. Let's say they did. I don't know if I did a quick action for these guys. They didn't do withdrawal, so we'll say they did counter. We're going to have Josen try to position himself favorably, but when he does that, he's moving away from him. Not from him, but from him. So that means this guy would get a free attack on him because he was countering. And that's, in essence, sort of similar to an opportunity attack. So that means Josen's got a dodge against him. Josen has a +2. The guy's ability to attack, I believe, once again, was a 14, so it's 12 or higher. He gets a 13. He, no problem, gets right around it. Zoop, zips over here. He's now going to get a +2 to attack. He's going to attack this guy, and he is attacking... Ooh. Josen gets a +5. That means we're at a 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. I don't think that's a hit. If we look at the goblins, I needed a 14 to actually hit, so that is not a successful hit. So Josen, I think Josen's time to burn a luck point. So he's going to burn a luck point and do... You know what I could have done, by the way? I could have had Galleon burn a luck point to do max damage. I believe that's a thing. That would have been sweet. All right, so Josen's going to get a second attack. He gets a 12. This one hits. Yes. So he now hits. He hits the goblin. Josen does a d6 plus 2 slashing damage. He does 4, kills the goblin. So this goblin's dead, and now we're kind of in cleanup. Caleb's going to go. He's going to attack. He gets a successful hit. He does 2d6. He does enough damage to kill this one. And then we have a blaster. So he's going to go ahead and just burn this guy. He's going to use his spell blasting. He's using a d20 plus his logic plus his burn ability, which we already know is adept. So he's got to get a 12 or higher. So he gets a... No, I'm sorry. He's using those pluses. He rolls this plus that in order to try and hit. So he got a 15. He needed a 14, so he successfully hits. He's only doing 1d6 damage. We didn't prime this up, but he does 6. 6 damage is enough to kill them. They've got 4 health. That would be the end of our party. We'll just say he moves over here next to his buddy. At this point in time, let's do a morale check. So a morale check is you're going to roll 2d6, and then what you do is every enemy has a certain morale. You roll 2d6, and you're trying to get over the enemy's morale, and if you do, then you roll to see if they surrender or if they run away. So let's do the Goblin Bandit first. His morale is 6, so on these 2d6, he's fighting on. He got a 3. The Bandit Wizard, the Goblin Bandit Wizard, his morale is a 6. He rolled a 7. So now we take 1d6 and roll it, and we got a 1. A 1 would mean that he would retreat. If I got a 1 to 3 as a retreat, a 4 to 6 as a surrender, this guy buggers out. He's just going to run off. So that maybe allows us to say he ends up telling someone else about it. This guy's going to probably attack, and then he's going to get his face melted by the rest of the party. He's going to try and get some distance, so we can end it here. Hopefully this gives an idea of what the combat can feel like, right? I don't think I got to use half of the cool abilities some of these characters do. I'm trying to run 4 characters at once, which is a lot. For me, this was mostly trying to feel the resolution mechanic out. There's a lot of other cool stuff I probably could have done with these characters, With Caleb or with Canis, I probably could have tried to get some. I mean, he still has. If you look at his mana, he's still got 19 mana. I probably could have cast some wicked cool spell, tried to line him up. I probably could have cast like 2 spells. I would cast one over here and then I quicken another one here. So he probably could have been blasting stuff around, which would have been pretty neat. Josim probably could have been yelling out to friends across the board and trying to give them bonuses. So when we had Galleon trying to make attacks, and he gets bonus damage when he attacks, we could have had Josim use his quick action to do a speak, and his speak would have been Tactician to give advantage to Galleon across the room. So Galleon maybe didn't have to actually do the flanking in order to get his attack bonus. He could have gotten it from something else, right? What are the cool things we've done? Caleb, he was pretty cool already, but Caleb could have gotten some more spells out. He could have hexed a bad guy. If we had a little bit beefier of a bad guy out, he could have hexed him and made it harder. For this encounter, I wanted to just use goblins because they're kind of quintessential for these low-level attacks. Everyone's second level, but maybe their hit dice was too low. Maybe they were too squishy. So I could have brought in something like a bugbear or something more interesting. Or some of the different monsters that have more quick action abilities. I thought it was really nice that Canis was able to use a Daze ability on the Goblin Bandit to make all of the goblins less effective, because that Goblin Bandit quick action to have each member of the group take one action as a quick action, that's disgusting. So pretty cool. I enjoyed the speed of it. There's a lot of speed there. Once you get those actions down, I'm flipping from character to character, so that probably slows it down more than anything. If I was just staring at my one character sheet, it would have been pretty quick. There probably been a little bit more table talk in terms of who's moving where and when, but overall that gives you an idea. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. I got another video coming about what are the things I'd probably take from this system. All right, guys.